So hello everyone, so this is me again, and I'm trying to explain to you how this application say works for marking the items where most of us have interest at. So I'm going to be using chemistry to demonstrate. So I'm going to click it, and this is a reminder as usual, communicating maybe information, maybe something from your notes that we are revising that looks so delicious, like an equation. So basically I'm going to resume to my items. That's where I were, and for example this was an item that I was previously reading. I hadn't finished it, so basically I'm supposed to read it until it is over. So the reading is usually step by step to make sure you read line per line, make sure you get whatever is needed, line per line, kind of an interactive way to feel you are really revising when you're on. So basically it will first give you, then you think, then you look at the answers that have been provided. So basically I've come to show a way we are doing marking these items. So I'm going to choose my element of construct, and maybe it's element of construct 1. That is how they mark it. I already know. Then they are choosing mere question, but this one is not going to be marked. It's something for me to try out. I'm not interested. Maybe in future we're going to have all those answers included. I'm just more interested in something that I'm going to answer, and it is marked. So they're advising me to answer that item and then have it marked. So basically the item that comes with a UNEB sample, which is very fine. So they want me to look at oxygen. So as a chemistry student, I'm going to answer this. I'm going to say hello everyone. You can say hello everyone. That is it. That greeting is enough. So I say, for example, they're interested in knowing how to set up an oxygen production plant. Then I say to manufacture oxygen, for example, on a large scale. Manufacture oxygen on a large scale. Hey, liquid air is needed. Liquid air is needed as the raw material. As the raw material. As the raw what? Material. I know we need a mark for the raw material. If that is right, I should get my mark. Next, I need to look at the production process. So what do? I say air is collected. Air is what? Collected. Air is collected. After collecting that air is collected. After I've collected that air is collected, and dust, and maybe some foreign particles. First filtered off. You need your air clean. After filtering off the air, you're going to, for example, remove carbon dioxide, for example, carbon dioxide and water vapor, are then removed. Are then what? Removed. Because are then removed because they would solidify and say block the apparatus that we are going to use. Solidify and block the apparatus we are going to use. So carbon dioxide, for example, can be removed from the collected air by reacting it with the basic substance. the basic substance such as sodium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. Then I will say sodium hydroxide, when I add it to carbon dioxide, I'm going to get what? Sodium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide. It's a base plus an acid. I get a salt and water, so I'm going to get sodium carbonate. Then plus water. Then get sodium carbonate plus water. That's what I think. Then I go and say, for example, water vapor is removed by a drying agent. By drying what? By drying agent such as silica gel. Gel. I've removed those two. I can put an equation, I can leave it. I'm going to leave it. So after now, what do I do after removing those? The remaining area is then compressed. To temperatures. Of around negative 200 degrees Celsius. So the liquefied air is then fractionally distilled. Distilled. During fractional distillation, of the liquefied air, the different boiling points of the components of air enable their separation. On boiling the liquid air, oxygen will be collected at negative 183 degrees Celsius. So the collected air, oxygen can then be purified by removing trace noble gases and then stored in a cylinder. Ready for future use. I'm assuming that's what I've come up with as my production process. Number 3, I will need to look at, for example, the side effect. So during the production process. During the production process, the carbon dioxide that is removed from the collected air is a greenhouse gas. Thus, it will contribute to global warming on accumulation since it traps the heat, preventing it from escaping to the atmosphere. To mitigate this, the gas can be so you discover anyway. There are just answer. To mitigate this, catalytic cell converters, the gas can be, for example, can be neutralized. That is my side effect and mitigation. Then I come to the social benefit. So the production process provides employment to the people, which in turn improves their income, and therefore better standards of living, and therefore better standards of living. Then I can look through and I feel I'm confident. I save my document. After saving, I close. When I close, the model plus the answers that were provided, I'm going to come up with something beautiful, and there it is. So I can look at how I've been marked. Where am I lacking? So basically I get a 9/12, and somehow the model tries to Isaac. Yeah, the answer was the number is usually over 10, but looking at over 12, that is still fine, still a good way to go. So that was a UNEB sample, so that is an excellent. I have a solid grasp of the key concepts. So to improve, I need to focus on using chemical equations, and also to demonstrate my understanding, provide more specific detail about the hazards and mitigation strategies, and setting clearly that air is the raw material. So to manufacture oxygen on a large scale, liquid air is the raw material. Fantastic, I got that. Then removing the dust particles, that is a point. Removing carbon dioxide and water is really a nice point too. Then looking at the chemical equation, you see it was an excellent start, but I should have provided a balanced equation. It is better when you use a balanced equation. That could have earned me another mark. Water vapor being removed by silica gel, that is fine, that is fantastic. Then the whole process is, I have many marks there, but basically the maximum I can get there is a 3, so that is it. It is a 3. Then during the production process, the carbon dioxide that is removed from the air is basically a greenhouse gas, so it will contribute. So that was a good start, but you see, I needed to mitigate a better way. Like I needed to use specific fitting catalytic converters, saying exhaust pipes, neutralizing that before they be released as suggested by the teacher. Also, you lost a mark in this case because the teacher's response is more detailed. So, and then you see, I basically have a better understanding of this also. Basically, it gives you an idea of how we are marking these items, and I would request each and every one of you out there to try and see how best you can use this pipeline to be able to enjoy. You see, being marked, like being given advice and whatever. So in case you feel like maybe there is a problem, yeah, you can try to communicate, like you just judge with it about this very same thing, eh? And then I'm like, about that, about, say for example, the social benefit, about the social benefit part of the item, about the social benefit part of the item, about the social benefit part of the item. What else could be an answer? What else could be a possible answer? What else could be a possible answer? Then some other possible answers for the social benefit, keeping the UNEB context in mind. It could, say for example, include development of infrastructure that will improve road network, hence improved income and better standards of what? Living. Improved healthcare, increased oxygen availability directly benefits patients, improving their chances of recovery. This also reduces the strain on the healthcare system. The operation requires skilled labor, leading to training and development opportunities for the local workforce. This enhances the overall skill set of the population. The oxygen plant can stimulate economic growth in a region through increased investment, job creation, and the production of a vital resource. Reduce reliance on imports, local oxygen production. So you see, it's like they're giving you other different kind of versions, but at the end of the day, this is AI, and you need to always follow the marking guide, whereby we need a benefit, its effect, and then the impact of the benefit. Then you would say, for example, what of other possible solutions, possible side effects, and their mitigation, well explained. Well explained. What of the possible side effects and their mitigation? Well explained. Well explained. So basically, you look at them. Second components, may contain this. Discs of mitigation, use that. Look at, say, water. They give you a lot of options there to read through, and then you can enjoy. Noise pollution is there. You get energy consumption and carbon footprint. Basically, all these are now better options. So at the end of the day, when you feel you're tired as usual, when you place theta 2 here, it takes you back to your current station. So when you're done, again, we're going to open how for example, your teacher answered the question. So basically, this is how UNEB answered its question. So basically, the raw material was air. That's the production process. You remove dust and particles. You pass through concentrated solution to remove carbon dioxide with the equation. Air is now passed through silica gel, and then they are now compressed, at 200 atmospheres, and then to about negative 200 degrees. Nitrogen boil first, and then you're going to get your oxygen at negative 183. The side effects, you can see them as UNEB answered them. So basically, we mark according to this with the help of AI to go on and show you where you are lacking, what is lacking in your answer. Hope that is clear and you have enjoyed it. So basically, that is the item part. That's how we structure it. That's basically how we structure it. So once you're done with that item, you can now continue and say, for example, you know what, I'm done with item 1. Why can't I say, maybe again retry and get another item of that kind? Again, this was UNEB, we haven't provided those answers, but we shall. Then maybe you can continue like that. You get that one is also not provided answers for, but in real setting we need you to do those items once you get them, and maybe find a way, but we are trying. So now you can, for example, come on this one here. It's again similar to the one like for UNEB. Now basically you not need to answer it. When you don't need to answer it, you just close it, and when you close it, we show you how just the answers appear. How this, for example, individual answered this item. And what we do is, we don't usually, when we are choosing these items, is usually random. So this is the beauty. We are looking at being able to mark someone wherever they are with the help of our answers that we pre-provide, plus the internet, the beauty of the internet, of the AI. But we do all this within the background. Good for items. Good for items. This is really going to be perfect for items. I tell you, we are really going to develop it. Make sure it is fantastic. This interactive nature not only enables you, but every time you are going to press enter, you have to first think. And now I'm going to the benefits. What would be the benefit? And you write down. Then you look at what was given to you, and then you compare. You determine which level you are at that very specific that very specific moment. So thank you for coming. Thank you for paying attention. I wish you all the best, and make sure you also look at the other different parts of this pipeline. Have a nice time.